as the blue Terran, hailing from China. It is time. It's on Team Newbie.
The Northeast, he's red, he's Silky. Silky smooth.
So it was a Hellbat attack being set up here, you know, no add-on, just building the Marines. So it's one of the more classic Hellbat attacks. If you saw how many Marines there were and you saw the medevac, you could piece the two and two together without even seeing the armory.
I feel like if you see that medevac opening, it's got to be like the biggest tell. Because there's really not a lot of medevac builds that don't have... Because it's either a Hellion drop or it's Hellbats, really, when there's an early medevac.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, he is trying to get Lings. He's also preparing for the follow-up Banshees, and he's correct. It is going to be follow-up Banshees. But can he deal with this effectively? The Banelings get perfect connections to the Hellbats, and that should be good enough. We don't have too many Queens. There they come now, all together, 5 at a time. Every single Queen's here, but they're a little late. Come on, ladies. There we go. Let's target fire the medevac, ideally.
Needs to get rid of. Here comes the Banes. That's always an awkward spot. A couple of those Banelings get stuck behind the Queens a bit. Good spread from time, but obviously that many Lings and Banes. This wasn't a really committed attack out of time. I mean, he doesn't have, like, his third command center is just starting, but that's just not an attack that you can really have big expectations of. He also didn't rally Hellions across the map. He's just been keeping them at home.
Yeah, I'm feeling the mech.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Close Banshee, extra gas. Ooh.
Makes sense.
Double factory can work, but
yeah,
we still haven't really seen where Silky wants to go with this lair, by the way. I mean, if it was bio, maybe he's like, I'm just gonna get roach speed, but Hellions come over to this third base. Zerglings trying to get a cheeky surround, but he focus fired the Baneling. Really nice. And Silky's drone line is exposed.
There's not that many Lings left over. The Queens are all out of position. There's barely any on the front line spreading that creep in time. He's not actually being reserved here. A lot of other Terran players would have left, considering, you know, the Lings are on the way. The Queens are on the way.
So much pressure, and all Silky can think of is time is on my side of the map.
8 drones go down. Hellions now turn into Hellbats. Realize they took out the Banelings. Silky is reacting to seeing so many Hellions. He knows it's Mech. He's trying to get to Roaches, so he stopped building Banelings entirely. And he should, you know, that is his choice, I guess. But then he doesn't have anything to defend against the Hellbats. So.
That's a great thing to point out, though, because you're totally right. He's going for the Roach Warren, and he's going to get Roach speed and all that, but you're kind of changing the direction. So you're not thinking about building a lot of Zerglings when there's Hellbats, but you kind of need to deal with the Hellbats because you need Banelings. But it's Infestation Pit now with a Hydralisk Den, and despite that, he hasn't really been able to do too much damage with this initial Cyclone Hellion pressure.
So I see something very concerning. I think it is a straight-up mistake. Silky has not added evolution chambers at all.
He has no
upgrades whatsoever.
Oof.
I think that is a mistake. I think you at least get 1, if not always 2.
At least get attack upgrades for the Hydras and Queens and Roaches.
Exactly. And he will realize that soon enough, but he will be so far behind a mech player who wasn't even that, like, really that speedy 2 double armory. This is, like, totally reasonable what time did. It's just that Silky didn't go for any at all. So he is just hoping that the Vipers really shine here. And eventually he's got to realize.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, because Silky has a bunch of bases. He has good tech, but he is denying himself potential in a long game by making all of his units a little bit less effective than they otherwise would be at this point in the game.
Yeah, there's times where I see these Hydras up to 3-3 actually with some Zerg players against this style.
You know, with these upgrades, it takes 1 less hit for the Hellions to kill the Hydras. You see how fast those things die?
Yeah, exactly.
Disgusting. He's going to lose the Cyclones here, but this is actually an amazing good trade for time because he really lost a few Cyclones and then just traded Hellions for Hydras.
Oh my lord.
Oh boy.
Okay, speedy Banshee's coming. There's a Spore Crawler to provide detection, but then you just, there you go, wrap around a little bit. Kill the things that shoot up anyways, and then
we ride together, we die together. These Banshees pick off the southeast base. Weird, yeah, this looks really good for time.
It does. He also didn't stay on Cyclone Hellion, which might be a little bit of a shock to Silky as he moves in here. There's going to be a lot of tanks. There are those Thors. And he finally did realize he has no upgrades, by the way. So that's not only just like a, oh, I messed up. It's a sinking feeling in your stomach knowing that there's nothing you can do to make up for that time.
Yeah, 0-0 versus +2, +1. And there goes a couple of the Abducts to pull this army inside. This is definitely where that Zerg force can still have the advantage, of course, using the utility of the Vipers. That siege tank on the high ground will eventually be overwhelmed, gets another tank on the low ground, but this one is still really exposed. I feel like you gotta try to get that Thor out of there and repair it. Silky may have been able to make up for his mistakes. The Banshees are gonna come back, but are there too many Hydralisks? I don't think so. Banshees should be able to clean the rest of this up, but Time has lost all of his valuable, expensive units, and that is definitely not good.
Ready to push.
He's still totally fine. Like, Silky's not maxed, and Silky doesn't have a bank. So we're looking at 2 players that have traded blows. I think, like, if Silky makes that push and he's 2-2, I think he probably obliterates the army and maybe even wins the game with that many units, but no upgrades is, it's a big deal. It affects a lot of the way that these matchups work, especially when it comes down to units that like usually leave you with a little bit of health left, like the Banshees or the Hellions. Swarm Host is coming out too, trying to get a little bit more cost effectiveness into the army for Silky.
Banshees definitely want to live, but a couple of them are going to be abducted. More than a couple.
Did you know, Zombie Grub, that if you shift Q a Viper to abduct 2 units that are equidistant from it, it will stretch out, it will cast the ability instantly. The Viper will have 2 tongues.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Just so you guys know, there's a second tongue in there somewhere.
There is no Spire, which is something that Time can't be sure of, but he did scan the Hive once again, scouting with the Banshees too.
Oh, he's going into battlecruisers.
Yeah.
The madman.
I was surprised to see him go to battlecruisers with that knowledge in hand, but that is a super late game choice.
I actually love it. I do like seeing it. I don't know that it'll work, but this is the first time we're seeing someone actually try it like this. You have like a good number fighting.
And good upgrades.
They always 2-shot Hydras.
Yeah.
Unless you have none, maybe, but.
Which is still, like, even with the upgrades being severely late, that's still not the case. 2-2 is actually almost done here. Silky jumps on top of the 5th base. Is maybe going to be able to grab that.
Is he not going to dive on the command center? That's pretty big. See, a situation like this, the battlecruisers could just teleport straight into the main base is what I would do. Once you know that this attack is defended.
That did not look that pretty at the end of it. Silky lost the majority of his army despite getting a good parasitic bomb. He didn't actually kill the Vikings, so they can be repaired up. His Swarm Hosts do find those tanks, but they unsiege and just ran away. Nicely done there. Time is not going to save his base.
It didn't die. There's a guy flying that command center right now. He's like, no, don't forget about me.
He realized that he didn't lose it.
Realized it. Yeah.
That's
I love this. This is such a cool army. Really, Neural Parasite or something is like what makes it hard to make this work, but the BCs are there. They have the Vikings to support them, and then you've got all these tanks, and it's gonna be really hard to like effectively deal with the siege tanks because of this. And the siege tanks are really what's gonna keep the Hydras from being able to engage.
Yeah, it seems like it could work out perfectly. If the tanks are ever somehow out of the fight and they are lagging behind here, then maybe that's where Silky can find an opportunity. He runs in, Blinding Clouds and Parasitic Bombs come down. Everything down at once, but an anti-air missile too, and it's clear that Silky's army just does not compare.
Look at this guy. He's so cool. He doesn't teleport his BC home. He teleports it 5 feet to the left with 10 health.
That did not look pretty. I don't know how Silky went into that fight.
Send those BCs home.
Yeah, he should. He should repair those. But Silky went into that fight probably thinking that would look at least, somewhat more comparable, and it didn't. He does remax. He's going to be able to try again.
It's a great army composition from Time. This is really good. I really like this a lot.
I think even disregarding the actual potency, the strength of the army, it's just probably a surprising army for Silky to see. He's like, this isn't the late game composition I expected.
I would say that he's probably never played against this before, especially since he plays NA. So I don't even do this. I'm one of the only guys that builds BCs.
This fight is going better than the last one. Battlecruisers getting very, very low. Hydras actually jump on top of the tanks.
There we go.
The Vikings are going to have to actually evacuate here, maybe a couple last snags. There we go. But that was better, but it did cost Silky's entire bank.
Yep, and guess what? Terran boy still has 5 BCs. He's got 2 more that are just now finishing. It's up to 7 battlecruisers.
Yeah.
So, interesting thing here. And it's going to be, I'm curious to see what he does. You can neural the BCs and teleport them into a field of static defense. He's got 5 spores on the way. Where is he building it? Yeah, okay, he's just doing the southeast. So you can try to do that and use the tactical jump to cause the BCs to go somewhere that you're guaranteed to be able to kill them. You can try to grab some of the power units like the Thors, but there's really not that many of them. But battlecruisers are actually really bad at killing themselves. And they're bad at killing all the other units in this army because it's mostly air.
I'm also curious as to what he's going to Neural Parasite. It might be one of those things where he just grabs whatever he can in the heat of the moment. The pressure is starting to cook here as his creep threat's being denied. He's being pushed back into his own natural. He's trying to get the static defense set up. He wants to take a very convincing fight and then be able to counterattack immediately.
He might also, if he took the fight right now, he wouldn't. There's no Neural Parasite yet, so the Infested Terran is actually really sick. If he could get some Infesteds on this, I would actually really like to see that. Those will deal with the battlecruisers better than anything else. I think I did the math. It's like 4 full energy infestors can kill like 6 battlecruisers with just infested Terrans, if they were to stay and fight, of course. It's really good. Good Dorito cannon on the Corruptors, kind of blazing back. These 2 Cyclones come down here, and they're gonna snipe it. Micro, he gets it. Noise.
And is also still encroaching on all the Spore Crawlers. So Silky loses all of his stack defense, which could have certainly helped out, but he was trying to buy time for the no parasite. Here he goes now, grabs a Thor.
Assimilation successful.
I don't think he's actually focusing anything on it, though.
Now he's attacking a battlecruiser, and 1 Thor does not kill that BC very fast. The fungal parasite bomb combo is good. Hydras are here. I would have liked to see him just throw infesteds behind it. BC should be able to teleport out if they want to, but oh my god, with that Dorito cannon, they're actually going to start to kill stuff.
Yeah.
Teleport the weak ones!
Well, some of them have already been teleported.
He's like, Nate, I'm going to win the game, okay?
And time is once again marching towards probably victory this time, as Silky's not even maxed out, doesn't have a very convincing army. Didn't find the secret composition either, even if he was maxed out to take on this here. He's got really weak Spore Crawlers. Yeah, they aren't going to help very much. And this is going to be the last hurrah. Go for it.
Comes in, puts some blinding clouds down, abducts a BC. BC jumps out. He doesn't jump home, though. BCs have limited range on their thrusters, it seems.
This isn't even his entire army.
This isn't even his final form.
Battlecruisers. Hey, at least they're killable now that Silky finally got the 3-3. But
G.
G.
Time.